Hey, everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, April 9th, 2023. Phyllis has come back from the dead. How's that for an Easter story? Did Y&R do that on purpose? It's almost too perfect. It's almost too perfect. So, Phyllis faked her own death to get back at Diane for faking her own death. It sounds like an appropriate plan to me. Although I don't know if I'm feeling the big drama with this one. I want to ask you guys as a poll question for this week. Are you finding this all to be big drama, or is this a big disappointment? Go to yrchat.com and cast your vote for or against anything and everything around the Phyllis fake death story, our big 50th anniversary story. Because, I don't know, I think that the whole story would have been better drama if the audience would not have been in on Phyllis and Jeremy's plan. I mean, it's the 50th anniversary year, and I'm pretty predictable as a fan. I loved all the nostalgia. I loved the sets. I loved the gowns. And I still love a twist. There was no real twist here. The guts of the week was in just us watching everyone's emotional reactions to the news of Phyllis's death. But really, we were just watching everyone get emotionally swindled by Phyllis and Jeremy. I'm sure that next week it will be good to watch Diane slowly realizing that she has been duped most of all, above and beyond everybody. She is the target of the dupe. That'll be good. But I feel like the grief scenes of Phyllis's family and friends was all, the emotion was kind of tempered for me because I knew that she was still alive. I think maybe it just would have been more fun to think that she was dead. Then I really could have got into the, all the tears. But instead, Phyllis was essentially willing to kill herself. She essentially killed herself and was willing to let her family think she was dead and assume a fake identity and then go on living in the shadows. Also that Diane would go to prison. It's a lot. And to get the job done, she trusted a man who she really shouldn't be trusting. He helped pull it all off. The marriage between Jeremy and Phyllis apparently was about him inheriting half of her estate and then using her money to pay off and pull off the plan. I mean, fake bodies don't come cheap. And he had to pay off the ambulance driver to make the whole thing look real, to plant Phyllis's fake blood sample, and to have the ambulance driver tell Chance that, just before the ambulance crashed and caught on fire, Phyllis whispered from her gorgeous lipstick lips, "Poison." Poison. Okay. Oh, the other part of the setup that was pretty good was, while all of the hotel room hubbub was going on between Phyllis and Diane, Phyllis on the side, which we didn't know about and was pretty good, Phyllis made a phone call to Michael. I guess she was just praying that he wouldn't pick up the phone because she needed to leave him a voice message saying that she was terrified of Diane, which was just more planted evidence that's going to be used against Diane. And of course, there's the toxicology test that Chance has ordered for Phyllis's blood sample. And Christine, who has become the DA overnight. I mean, just overnight. Now she is the DA. She wanted the job and she just got it. Christine's going to be in the position of prosecuting Diane for the crime against Phyllis. Christine, of all people, trying to find justice for Phyllis. I thought that was a nice element of the story. I like that emotional work in. And I like the Diane stuff too. Diane is going to be in hot water, and it's going to be fun to watch her trying to jump out of it. Nobody except Kyle and Jack are going to believe her. Summer is going to be leading the charge to fry Diane. And by the way, she's going to end up frying her marriage in the process. In the previews for next week, Summer was marching right up to Chance and demanding help for finding her mother's murderer. But also on Friday, Victor told Jack that his team has already caught on to the very suspicious fact that the ambulance didn't take a straight route to the hospital. The ambulance took the scenic route. You know how the ambulances like to do that. They do that sometimes. Oh, you're dying? Wouldn't you like to see the countryside one last time? Come on, take a left. Well, also in the previews, Jeremy is returning to the little vintage-looking motel room where Phyllis has been hiding out, and Jeremy's discovering that Phyllis is gone. When they had talked last, Phyllis was showing some big-time signs of regret. Gee, when I was laying there pretending to be dying, I noticed that my kids seemed worried about me. The kids were really worried about me. I just didn't think about the fact that my death might make them sad. Oh, how much do you want to bet that Phyllis will show up at her very own funeral next week wearing a big floppy hat and sunglasses, which I'm sure no one will notice, except maybe Diane? The gala ended up turning into an on-the-spot pre-memorial service for Phyllis. Everyone was standing around, telling their tales, expressing their grief, and unloading on Jeremy, as Jeremy just stood there rubbing it in, which I think made the whole thing more obvious. It was more obvious that something was fishy going on the way he was reacting to everything. Daniel got up in Jeremy's face and tore up the marriage license that Jeremy just so happened to be carrying around in his jacket pocket, which is a requirement for marriage. If you don't know that, husbands are required by law to carry the marriage license on them at all times. It is in the contract. If you're not doing that, or if your husband's not doing that, you need to get on it. Now you know. When everyone was coming for Jeremy, I loved that Nosy Leanna was right up in it. And Jeremy did tell her that he was willing to do an interview with her to talk about the whole thing. I'm wondering if that will ever actually pan out. How long is Jeremy going to stick around for? I think maybe maybe chance will make him stick around, at least for the trial. And I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be a trial, and maybe Leanna Love will be there to cover it. I hope so. Maybe then Phyllis reveals that she's alive at the trial. I mean, that's predictable, but it could be a hoot. I am a little sad now that all of the cameos are over. The gala is over. All of the champagne has been drank. All of the sequin dresses are out to the dry cleaners. Everyone is back to their day wear. The official grieving attire for a woman in Genoa City is the velour jumpsuit. There is no other choice. All you can do is select your color. Are you grieving? Please select your velour jumpsuit color. Summer chose chocolate brown, not my favorite, but with her hair, she had kind of a chocolate vanilla swirl grief thing going on, and she switched it up as the week went on. She was beautiful. Summer was a beautiful crier and a fierce defender of her mother when she was ripping into Diane. I was so mad at Kyle when he said, "Mom, Summer doesn't mean it." I wanted to say, "Don't speak for me." But then Summer turned around and said, "Kyle, I mean everything I'm saying. I'm actually being honest here for the first time in a long time." But I also think that Summer's attack on Diane was totally unwarranted. Even, I don't know. I mean, at that point, she wasn't suspicious of Diane's involvement. So why would she go on about Diane wanting Phyllis dead? That seemed out of the blue. I mean, after the toxicology report, I could see her going off, but I don't know. Allison Lanier nailed it. I mean, I loved her emotional scenes. I love her. I thought she was incredible, as was Michael Grazadeh, and his scenes with both Danny and Lily. He was furious and wild when he was in the room with Danny. But then he was weak and vulnerable in his scenes with Lily. Danny ended up calling Lily because Daniel was so wild and furious. And even though he expressed some hesitation about Daniel and Lily getting together as a couple, he just knew that she was the perfect person to call, especially since she had been through the grief of losing not just one parent, but two parents. I haven't been through that. Both of my parents are still living. But I would love to have someone like Lily there for me to help walk me through that stage of life. I thought that was a really moving scene. And she even tucked him into bed. And then she laid next to him, holding him. It was just so tender and so loving and gorgeous. If I had thought for 1 millisecond that Phyllis was actually dead, it all would have had me in tears. But I don't, so it didn't. Summer and Daniel, of course, had the most compelling reactions to Phyllis's death, but there were a lot of other smaller reactions that still made for some good scenes. I loved the shots of Phyllis's 3 exes, Nick, Danny, and Jack, standing next to each other at the party, reacting to the news. Something about that felt very historic and just really tied in well to the Phyllis character. The 3 of these guys standing there in the same room thinking about this incomparable woman who blew into their lives in different ways and for different amounts of time. It was great. There was no Billy, though, in that scene. Billy got out of there. He got out of the party, and then he got the news and shared it with Chelsea briefly. By the way, poll results from last week, the majority of Y&R chatters, 55%, not feeling the chemistry between Billy and Chelsea. 45% of you feeling it, though. I mean, it's close enough. I'll put myself in the majority there, though. I'm just not totally sold on Billy and Chelsea, but I am sure that the best of that chemistry is yet to come. I thought that Billy and Phyllis had a lot of chemistry, but they haven't had much to do with each other recently, so his reaction didn't blow me away. Nick got an extended scene talking to Sally about Phyllis's death, as did Sharon talking to Chance about it. I mean, Phyllis was a huge part of the story of Nick and Sharon and their lives in both good and bad ways. For Nick, it started good and then it went bad. And for Sharon, it started bad and then it went good. Everything really turned around for Sharon and Phyllis's relationship when Phyllis sent that Grand Phoenix spa gift basket to Sharon during her cancer treatment. Oh, she slept with my husband while I was grieving for our dead child. But that lavender candle she gave me was amazing. Maybe Sharon can light that candle on her date with Chance. She's going to have that date with Chance now that he's got the Chancellor Mansion pad all to himself. They can go back there, light that candle, and have some romance. Yeah, Abby is moving on and moving out. I thought it was very mature of Abby to talk to Chance about it all before agreeing to Devon's move-in proposal. Abby doesn't need Chance's permission, but she wanted to take his feelings into consideration since they're still co-parenting Dominic. I don't know. How long is Y&R going to keep that up? Chance has been so barely involved in Dom's life. He wasn't involved at all in the conception or at the birth. He checked in just for a few months until Abby made it with Dom's bio dad. So I don't know. I don't feel Chance's connection to Dom very strongly. Is he going to be stuck? Are they going to be stuck together forever over this child that they bonded over for 6 months? Is Abby going to be stuck running everything by Chance forever as the second dad? I don't know. She says that Chance is Dom's dad too, and so therefore it's true. But Chance was one cold dude during those scenes. I mean, I don't blame him. I'm not coming down on Chance. I think Chance also handled all of this with some maturity. Like, what do you want from me, Abby, ex-wife, who cheated on me? What do you want, my blessing to be with your new lover? But he gave it to her. And now Abby is moving in with Devon, and they sealed it with a kiss. I'm not sure why I find Chelsea and Billy to be so bland when they kiss, and then Abby and Devon doing the same thing, kisses all over the place, and yet for me, Abby and Devon are bringing the sizzle. I don't know, maybe it's the sex. maybe Billy and Chelsea just need to have some sex. That'll give us a boost on the chemistry. I mean, nicey nice is nice, but sex is spice. And I need some spice with my nice, okay? Oh, boy. Yeah, Devon not only asked Abby to move in with him, but he topped it all off with the L word. And then they melted into each other's arms. I mean, that's the complete package right there. The kisses and the L word and the melting. Abby and Devon know that they love each other. We saw it in that flashback a few weeks ago. And their love story actually goes back years. And now that they have a child together through these unexpected circumstances, it all comes together. It all makes sense now. Abby did have to think about the offer to move in, though. She didn't want to move too fast. But I also kind of wonder if a part of her doesn't want to admit that Chance was right to end the marriage because she fought to keep Chance, and he said he kind of saw the writing on the wall and said no. And maybe she's in a little bit of denial about that she would have ended up with Devon anyway, sooner or later. Speaking of people who will end up together sooner or later, Adam and Sally! They shared some tender moments together on Friday. Sally is starting to feel the baby grow. And maybe, just maybe, her feelings for Adam are growing too. Maybe Adam and Sally's relationship is getting ready to enter into the second trimester. Yeah. And it looks like Adam could be getting a job to go alongside with his new life now that Devon's going back to Chancellor Winters, back to working with Lily, and will probably turn down Tucker's offer to buy McCall Unlimited. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that Tucker will give up and just accept Devon's no as an answer. And it doesn't mean that Tucker's just going to immediately hand his company over to Victor to immediately hand over to Adam. Why does Victor need Tucker McCall's company? Why doesn't Victor just give Adam the money to start his own company? What do they need McCall for? Victoria realized this week that she just needs to be done with the whole thing. If Newman buys McCall, all she's doing is handing Adam a company to run one way or the other. So she makes the decision to be done with it, and Victor stands by her. And Adam wasn't happy that Victor made that choice, but I think Victor made the right choice. If Victoria is the CEO of Newman Enterprises, then he needs to let her run it and stand by her decisions. If Victor so badly needs to hand Adam a company, then let him do it separately. Adam needs, something to do, I agree. But I don't know why it has to be McCall. I think Adam needs to have like a hip, edgy company, maybe a software security company or something techie, and he could hire Phyllis when she's alive again to help him run the tech company. The two of them could maybe hack into Newman Enterprises and wreak some havoc for Victoria. Or who knows, maybe Newman Enterprises could get hacked by some foreign source and Victoria could need Adam's company to help her fix it. It's just something. I don't understand why we need McCall. What does McCall Unlimited even do? Anyway, what do they do? Podcasts? That's all anyone does, is make podcasts. Tucker agreed to find JT Hellstrom for Audra and Elena in their revenge podcast. I totally forgot that JT worked for Tucker. In fact, I still forget it. I don't remember that at all. But it seems fated that JT will be back in Genoa City to reinvent himself. I'm just wondering if there's any chance that Brittany and Raul might come back with him. Love wins and let nothing stand in its way. That was our quote from last week. I knew it was going to be a hard one because the answer is Gina Romalotti, also known as Gina Roma. She was standing in the foyer of the athletic club with Tracy on her way down for the engagement uh, announcement, and she was giving Jack and Diane her blessings, and she said, well, love wins and let nothing stand in its way. I thought it was a great line. But only 3 people guessed that it was Gina, so I have to give extra big congratulations to Henry, good old Marky, and Victoria. You guys totally got it. Well done. Oh boy, let's just do a fun little quote for Easter week. Who said this? Am I being seduced? I mean, you should know when you are. Am I being seduced? Who said it? If you think you know the answer to this week's Easter quote, am I being seduced? You should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's non-Easter Y&R Chat. And next week we have a big birthday coming up. Erica! April 12th is your birthday. So this Wednesday, you're going to be celebrating. Go to the athletic club. Walk your way through that revolving door. Order yourself something good. What's on the menu at the athletic club? I don't know. I feel like Y&R does a good job of telling us what's on the menu at Society. This week we understand that there's a sweet potato that Devon loves. Abby put a few extra sweet potatoes on Devon's plate to, I guess, butter him up. And yeah, I mean, that sounds really good. But I have no idea what's going on at the athletic club and what they're serving. Erica, you'll have to let us know on Wednesday after you go there for your birthday. Speaking of that, I did put a little feature at the bottom of the yrchat.com website where I'm highlighting the little things that Y&R puts on the menu at the restaurants. So if Y&R is listening, keep that coming so I can keep updating that. I just think that's a fun little feature. I like getting a sense of the town, and knowing what's on the menu at the restaurants where everybody is all the time is really helpful. I like it also when Crimson Lights tells us what we're having for drinks. Those are just the little touches that make me feel like I'm in the scene. I also updated the website a little bit where the header right when you come on has a picture of the Genoa City skyline at night. I thought it was a really pretty picture, and it sets the mood. I like everything that sets the mood around our show. Oh, well, speaking of moods, it is early in the morning, early Easter morning, and I have got some eggs to hide. I have a big day planned for my daughter, and so I just thought I would hop on here and do a quick little Y&R chat, just some quick notes. By no means have I probably have not covered everything, so I'm sorry for that. But, I mean, the party doesn't have to end. You can go to yrchat.com and read all of the many excellent comments that we got there throughout the week. You can write your own comments, respond to other people, and chat with each other. And I will be back in full blast next Sunday to find out where we are with the Phyllis saga. The real question is, will Phyllis have revealed herself by the time we get back next Sunday? We'll see. Okay, well, yeah, gotta hop along. I'll see you guys next Sunday. Happy Easter! I love you. Bye.